all we're going to see now. It's 2-1 to Southampton at St Mary's at half-time. It's been a good start from the Saints, but Leicester got a goal back to equalise, but Saints once again went ahead, and it's been completely with the run of play here. And join us in the second half for second half commentary.
At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton restored their advantage on 33 minutes. Shay Adams nodding home at Nathan Redmond's cross. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton restored their advantage on 33 minutes. Shay Adams nodding home at Nathan Redmond's cross. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton restored their advantage on 33 minutes. Shay Adams nodding home at Nathan Redmond's cross. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton restored their advantage on 33 minutes. Shay Adams nodding home at Nathan Redmond's cross. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton restored their advantage on 33 minutes. Shay Adams nodding home at Nathan Redmond's cross. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton restored their advantage on 33 minutes. Shay Adams nodding home at Nathan Redmond's cross. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton restored their advantage on 33 minutes. Shay Adams nodding home at Nathan Redmond's cross. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton restored their advantage on 33 minutes. Shay Adams nodding home at Nathan Redmond's cross. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. At half-time, it is Southampton 2, Leicester 1. Southampton going ahead with just 3 minutes on the clock when a nicely worked short corner eventually fell to the feet of Jan Bednarek after an initial save from Kasper Schmeichel, and he turned home the rebound. Leicester got back on level terms with a rebound of their own. Johnny Evans prodding home from close range, but Southampton
As Paul Tierney just makes sure that there's no naughtiness, should we say, in the penalty area, looking at Virgil van Dijk and Michael Keane, who are battling away by the corner flag. Alexander-Arnold to take, right-footed out swinging from this near side, left arm aloft as he whips it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Matip, again the intended target, nodded away though. Thiago helps it forward towards Alexander-Arnold once again at the corner flag. The ball goes out of play and it will be a throw-in. We were saying earlier about Everton's struggles in recent weeks. They actually haven't won a Premier League game since the 13th of September. That was a 3-1 victory over Burnley. Since then, they have just struggled to get themselves any sort of victory, and there's plenty of pressure on Rafa Benitez. Do you think, Tom, tonight could well be a difficult night if it goes against him?
Well, I think it depends how it goes against him. If Everton put in a really good performance and are edged out, unfortunately, by the odd goal, then I think he will get a stay of execution, if you like. But if they put in a really poor performance, which, you know, over the opening couple of minutes, Liverpool could have scored twice, and if that happens and Everton end up losing this game 4-5-6-0, then I think he could be in danger of losing his job. Liverpool coming forward again, and they look like they could cut through Everton every time they venture forward.
Mane inside the area, tries to pull it across for Salah. What a save from Jordan Pickford to his right-hand side. He came through a couple of bodies. Salah trying to catch the goalkeeper out at his near post, but Pickford gets down well, and it's a strong right hand to keep it out.
Yeah, it's really good goalkeeper. Mo Salah can't do any more. He catches that left foot effort really nicely. It's heading towards Jordan Pickford's bottom right hand corner, but he gets down really quickly, the goalkeeper. But as you say, it's not just the fact he gets down there, but he has the strength in that right wrist to keep the ball out as well, and then quickly react to the rebound. Ben Godfrey was just in front of him, so potentially unsighting Pickford as well. So a really, really good save, and again another opportunity though for Liverpool when they come forward.
8 minutes on the clock. Everton 0, Liverpool 0. A really bright start to the Merseyside derby, exactly what we wanted from a neutral perspective, as Trent Alexander-Arnold takes a throw in on this near right hand side on the halfway line, back to Joel Matip, who plays it from right to left, should I say, to Virgil van Dijk. Robertson then will return it back to Van Dijk into Fabinho on the edge of the centre circle, as Liverpool just look to try and build something from their back line. Everton at the moment almost chasing shadows, because Liverpool seem to find gaps everywhere. So this time Everton do deal with a little foray forward from Jordan Henderson, and maybe a chance for Damari Gray to break forward. Had such a bright start to his Everton career, popped up with a few goals since then. It's dried up a little bit for him, as Sadio Mane now has a chance to break down the left-hand side for the Reds into Andy Robertson, who pulls it back for Jordan Henderson on his left foot, who blasts it into the corner, or bends it into the corner. His weaker left foot, pure finesse from Jordan Henderson. One man from the northeast beats the other, and Everton trail. Everton 0, Liverpool 1.
Fantastic goal, isn't it, from Jordan Henderson? He's been in a really rich vein of form over recent weeks, goal-scoring form as well for club and country, but that is a superb finish on his weaker left foot. Andy Robertson does well on the overlap down the left-hand side with Sadio Mane. He's just looking to cut it back into an area. Robertson perhaps even returned the ball to Mane, who was darting into the area, but it falls to Henderson on the edge of the area, and you're just thinking, how many times you see it when someone on their weaker foot steps up and they lash that horribly over the top of the crossbar, but Jordan Henderson passes that, controls it into the corner of the net. Jordan Pickford has just made a brilliant save down to his right hand side, but you can get absolutely nowhere near that. It's brilliant from Henderson, brilliant from Liverpool, and you know, based on what we've seen in these opening 10 minutes, the very least they deserve.
Yeah, it's the absolute perfect start for the side from the red side of Merseyside. A smile on the face of Jurgen Klopp, a big punch of the air. It was interesting, he sort of turned almost to punch the air in front of Rafa Benitez. He thought better of it. Benitez, stone-faced in his technical area, I don't think has any right to be happy with what his side have done in the opening 10.5 minutes.
No, but they've been blown away by Liverpool, and I do think that Jurgen Klopp has said to his side that this is like a boxer on the ropes playing in Everton, and he wants them to go for the jugular, try and get an early goal which would unsettle this crowd, and that appears to be exactly what's happened. As we mentioned, they could have been 1-0 up before they now have got this goal inside the opening 10 minutes, and it's going to take a lot of character now from Everton. They're going to have to dig really deep. Benitez is going to have to work his magic on the sidelines, otherwise, as we mentioned earlier on, this is a game that could get away from Everton very quickly and turn into a really nightmare night.
Paul Tierney here, just having a word with Alan after a challenge in the middle on Diogo Jota. It was late from the Brazilian, just clattered into Diogo Jota as he got away from his man. It was interesting, Jurgen Klopp was saying in the build-up to the game that these games are focused on physicality. He doesn't like how over-physical the Merseyside derby is, but that's the first bad challenge we've seen. Everton have got a free kick, incidentally, for a little niggling foul. Dangerous ball in that's headed away just about by the Reds, and now a chance for Diogo Jota to try and break, finding Sadio Mane on the left-hand side. Mane takes a touch, slips as he looks to get away from Solomon Rondon, and Everton have possession inside Liverpool's half, out on the right-hand side. Here is Alan once again, into Rondon, who turns to find Damari Gray, edge of the D. Down goes Andros Townsend, I think that was, on the edge of the box. Nothing given by the referee. Mohamed Salah puts the pressure on all the way back to Jordan Pickford.
Yeah, I think going back to that Alan challenge, you could argue that should have been a yellow card. If it was in any other game other than a big Merseyside derby, then he probably would have been carded by Paul Tierney, but he's trying to let the game flow, recognising the occasion as well. But as you say, with Jurgen Klopp, he doesn't like the physicality. That the last time these two met at Goodison Park was that incident between Jordan Pickford and Virgil van Dijk last autumn, where Van Dijk ended up being sidelined for the rest of the season. Best part of 9 months, wasn't it, that he was out for?
Yeah, there has been a history actually over the last few years in this game where Everton have ended up finishing the game with 9 men just because of a lack of discipline. At the moment, no cards from the referee Paul Tierney, but we are only 12.5 minutes in. Long throw into the box from Seamus Coleman, nodded away by Fabinho. Andros Townsend brings down the second ball into Alan, who breezes away from Thiago. Now Townsend in the area, maybe could have gone down over the outstretched leg of Henderson. Stays up though, as Everton come forward, down the left with Damari Gray, up against Mohamed Salah. He skips in field, drives a shot towards goal. Richarlison sort of flails at it to try and divert it towards goal with his head. He misses it, and the ball skews a long way wide, but maybe, just maybe, Andros Townsend could have been clipped by John Henderson.
Yeah, he was very honest, stayed on his feet, and we should credit Andros Townsend for that. How many times do we complain about players going down so easily in the penalty area? But he's tried to stay on his feet. In the end, the attack comes to nothing for Everton. But the last couple of minutes there, at least a response from the Toffees. They've had possession inside Liverpool's territory. They've not asked the defence of Liverpool too many questions as of yet, but at least it's a foothold, something for Rafa Benitez to cling on to.
Yeah, positive reaction from Rafa Benitez's side as Thiago plays it across to Andy Robertson as Liverpool look to quash any sort of positivity straight away. In possession with Virgil van Dijk on the halfway line. Now Joel Matip. As Liverpool again looking to build. Matip stepping forward now midway inside Everton territory as Henderson looks to find Salah somehow. Manages to find Diogo Jota. Jota into the penalty area away from Milan. Dancing towards goal. Alexander-Arnold with a strike that Pickford tips round the post. Or I say he tips around the post, 2 strong hands to divert it round the post, but again space on the edge of the Everton penalty area for Liverpool to let fly.
Well, Liverpool have been practicing their shooting on their weaker foot, haven't they? Because that was Alexander-Arnold now with the left foot drive, really clean hit, good save again from Pickford, who rightfully is asking questions of the defence in front of him. No one closing down Trent Alexander-Arnold. Jota to set him up as well. We mentioned Townsend at the other end staying on his feet. Jota potentially could have gone down in the area as well.
Corner taken quickly. Thiago trying to get across in. Fizzes it towards the near post. Solomon Rondon manages to clear and Alan gets on the second ball, but Liverpool will recycle play on the halfway line with Andy Robertson into Fabinho. Back to the Scot. Will go all the way backwards to Alisson. Under pressure straight away though by Solomon Rondon. Very nearly gave it away. And Joel Matip does to Abdoulaye Doucouré, edge of the box. Doucouré twisting, turning, finds Townsend on the overlap, who this time does go down. Paul Tierney has a look and I think is going to give the free kick against Andros Townsend, who becomes the first player into the book. Looked harsh. We need to see a replay, independent off-tube studio-based commentary. But Townsend was certainly looking for the foul this time.
Yes, there's a challenge from Andy Robertson. I don't think there's any contact. It's just a heavy touch from Andros Townsend. Robertson does step across him. I mean, Townsend would argue, I'm sure Everton would argue, that the momentum, the moving that fast as Townsend was, any kind of contact could potentially send you over. But I think he's gone down easily there because he's realised he's not getting on the end of a heavy touch. I think the referee's right there to to not give the free kick and to book him for simulation.
As Mane tries to dance away from a couple of challenges, in the end he's been adjudged to have handled the ball. He sort of went down on his knees and he was, I think, hoping that the free kick would be given. It wasn't. So Everton looked to get things going quickly with the free kick, but Trent Alexander-Arnold watched it well. And now Trent's on the overlap of Fabinho. His pass to him wasn't great, but it's a good ball from Alexander-Arnold into Mohamed Salah, who's then beaten to the ball by Michael Keane. Everton will just calm it down momentarily. There has been a goal at Vicarage Road. It's Watford 0, Chelsea 1. The goal scorer of that as and when we get it. As Ben Godfrey clears the ball away. As things stand, Chelsea staying top of the Premier League table. Liverpool just 2 points behind them, going up to second, with Manchester City still drawing with Aston Villa at the moment. It's 0-0 at Villa Park. As Everton have themselves a throw-in here on the halfway line. Jurgen Klopp applauding his side for what they're doing so far as Richarlison tries to win the header. Fabinho just collects it and then tries to backheel it off Richarlison, who's in. Richarlison with the ball across the box, and Damari Gray can't get there because Trent Alexander-Arnold dropped back and managed to divert it behind for an Everton corner.
He does really well there on the cover, Trent Alexander-Arnold, because initially he's slow to react to Damari Gray's run, but he gets back in, recognises the danger and gets in front of the Everton winger and is able to, by hook or crook, get it over the top of Alisson's crossbar and behind for a corner.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp pointing at his head, shouting at his team because they just lost a bit of focus there. Damari Gray to take the corner, right-footed in, swinging from this near side in towards the near post, headed straight up in the air by Andy Robertson. Alisson just about punches it away, not the greatest of punches from the Brazilian stopper. As Virgil van Dijk nods the ball across for Alexander-Arnold, who's gone across the left-hand side and actually plays a good ball to Jordan Henderson. Now Mohamed Salah on the right, looking to try and get away from Luca Digne. Steps inside as the Egyptian, then finds the goal scorer Henderson, who floats it towards Mane. That's a big punch out from Jordan Pickford. Wow, almost cleared the halfway spot in their half. So Damari Gray tries to get away and the ball goes out for a Everton throw-in. Mason Mount was the goal scorer, incidentally, for Chelsea. They lead Watford by a goal to nil. And the last few minutes we've just seen a little bit more of Everton. They've been trying to get out, they've been trying to cause problems. At the moment Alisson not tested, but it's been a bit better from the Toffees.
There's been a response since they conceded the goal, and they're at least carrying a threat when they break forward, and you can see there's a bit of fight in the team as well. But it's a dangerously open game at the moment for me. If it stays this open, as Townsend whips a dangerous ball into the box from the right-hand side, if it stays this open, you can only imagine, yes, maybe Everton might get on the score sheet, but surely Liverpool, with their firepower, are going to score a couple of their own.
And here is Mo Salah inside the area, played through by Henderson. Salah puts it into the corner. A lovely finish from the Egyptian. There was almost no doubt when he went through one-on-one. You were saying it was open, Tom. Well, it opened right up for Mohamed Salah, whose finish was superb. Liverpool 2-0.
Brilliant, and that's the danger from an Everton point of view. They're going gun-ho, they're trying to get an equalising goal. We're still inside the opening 20 minutes, though, and Liverpool make them pay in absolutely emphatic style once again. It's another brilliant finish. We saw Henderson's for the first goal. This one from Mo Salah. Henderson actually with the assist. He's been everywhere in these opening 20 minutes. Fantastic from the Liverpool captain. But as you say, once Mo Salah's in there, the angle's against him, but no one's ever really doubting that he's going to find that far corner. He lifts it almost into the top corner beyond Jordan Pickford, who again can do nothing. He's made a couple of good saves in this game. The goalkeeper, he can't be blamed, but too open from Everton, and they've been punished again.
Yeah, they have indeed. You could see the difference in pace between Luca Digne and Mohamed Salah. Everton fans already either going for a refreshment or going home, not happy with what they've seen in the opening 20 minutes. Everton 0, Liverpool 2. Not quite been plain sailing for the Reds so far, but they also haven't really needed to get out of third gear because Everton twice been opened up and have conceded as Mohamed Salah finds Diogo Jota, now Jordan Henderson. They are really in the mood for it tonight, Liverpool, as Salah tries to get away from Luca Digne and wins his side a corner. But it's so open, especially on this left-hand side. We're not seeing Richarlison or Damari Gray dropping back, and it's leaving loads of space.
Yeah, it's Luca Digne against Mo Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold and Jordan Henderson. And he can't cope, he needs some help, he needs some defensive cover. Rafa Benitez is surely trying to get messages on to his team to help out Digne, because every time it's a one-on-one situation between Salah and Digne. He's got no chance, really, the Everton fullback.
Trent Alexander-Arnold over the corner, right-footed out, swinging from this near side once again. Lofts it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, bobbles around, it hits Michael Keane and diverts just wide of Jordan Pickford's right-hand post. There was nothing that Keane knew about it, really. He was focused on defending. It came off his hip and very nearly found his own bottom corner. Pickford beaten, but the post beaten.
Yeah, he easily could have nestled in the bottom corner. Michael Keane had his heart in his mouth there as he turned round. But again, it's just static Everton defending. It hits him, could have got in the back of the net. It's gone behind for another corner.
Andy Robertson over this one, left-footed out, swinging in towards the near post. Sadio Mane, the man attempting to attack it. Solomon Rondon doing his defensive duties, diverts it behind for another Liverpool corner that again Andy Robertson will take. And the fact that it's out swinging is causing Everton all sorts of problems. They're not sure how to read it and deal with it. It's perhaps not as easy as an in-swinger where you're watching it all the way in, you're almost chasing it when it's an out-swinger. You've got to try and deal with this once again. Again, some of the bigger men are up. Van Dijk is in there, as is Mane, Jota, Matip, with Thiago, Fabinho, Henderson and Salah all sniffing around the edge of the box.
Just need a ball now for them to swing the corner in.
Well,
I think the Everton supporters, that's the best form of defence. They've nicked the ball behind the goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Robertson has now spotted the ball down. He's going to be ready to take this here. Lofts it in again towards a similar area. Van Dijk, the man challenging. Matip tries a little back heel to sort of flick it, I think, towards Van Dijk was the intended target. As it is, it goes behind for a goal kick. We are over the halfway stage in this first half. 23 minutes on the clock. Independent off-tube studio-based coverage. Everton 0, Liverpool 2. And it'll be Tom McGarry to take us through to half-time.
Yeah, thanks very much, Jack. Liverpool not quite in cruise control, but in a very promising position after a quarter of this game. Superb goals from first Jordan Henderson and then Mo Salah have put them 2 goals to the good, and Everton flattered to deceive at times going forward, but haven't really laid a glove on Liverpool, and Alisson certainly hasn't had a save to make so far. Jordan Pickford at the other end has been busy, and he might be worked once again as Sadio Mane works his way forward down the left-hand side, supported by Andy Robertson. Thiago will then recycle the ball back to Virgil van Dijk on the halfway line. Thiago once more, another player for Liverpool that's been amongst the goals of late, scored an absolutely superb one in the Champions League last midweek against Porto. I mean, one of the goals of the season in that and any competition, really, you would argue, as Salah goes down under a challenge from Luca Digne on the left-hand side, but he's not going to get the free kick. It'll be an Everton throw-in. And what do Everton do? What can they do to try and get a foothold back in this game? Because when they went 1-0 down, they tried chasing, they tried fighting fire with fire, and within a couple of minutes they were conceding again.
Yeah, honestly, Tom, I don't know what they can do. You know, you're up against an imperious Liverpool side who are looking very, very good as Richarlison finds Damari Gray here, twisting and turning, trying to get away. Trent Alexander-Arnold will clear. They're up against a Liverpool side who are looking ridiculously good at the moment. And if Everton try and go for it, they'll just get opened up again and again and again. For me, the only thing they do here is damage limitation and try not to concede anymore, because 2-0, but being resolute defensively from now on might just be enough to keep Rafa Benitez in a job. If they go for it, they will lose this game 4 or 5-0. That will not save their manager, which, to be fair, for some of these players and the performances of recent, might be what they want. We don't know what they're going to do now.
1 point in 6 games. It looks like it's going to be 1 in 7 unless Everton can really dig deep in this game. They took 14 from their opening 7 matches in the Premier League, which just shows the fall from grace they've experienced over recent weeks. Since September, as you mentioned, Jack, that they've had a Premier League victory. Fabinho in possession for Liverpool. They're used to winning, and he's driving forward the midfielder. Finds Sadio Mane, 30 yards from goal. Mane strikes and forces Jordan Pickford into a save. The ball cannons out to the left-hand side. Andy Robertson's low cross in towards Jota, who lets it run. It hits Decore, comes back to Jota, who tees up Thiago. His shot is blocked by Michael Keane, and Everton can scramble the ball clear. There was a second ball that came onto the field as well, just in the build-up to that attack, and it's the ball the Everton supporters actually stole from the last corner. So again, they're trying to disrupt Liverpool because they're probably feeling the players on the pitch aren't really doing their jobs.
Absolutely that, yeah. It definitely just feels like the crowd are having to do something because the players aren't. Just looking at the Sadio Mane effort again, it's a really good strike from him. It's a comfortable save for Jordan Pickford, who gets across. His technique from a goalkeeping perspective is really strange. He sort of punches at things. He's not prepared to catch it. He'd rather just trust his hands and divert it away. So not one for a goalkeeping purist, but it did the job and kept the ball out the back of the net. But Liverpool just looks so dangerous. And Everton are sat back. They don't know how to deal with this. It looks like this could be an absolute bloodbath.
It looks like Everton are preparing, at least some substitutes are going out to warm up down the touchline. I wonder if Rafa Benitez would consider a tactical change even at this early stage of the match, as Michael Keane looks to release Demarai Gray down the left-hand side. Gray gets to the ball. He beats Alexander-Arnold. He's working his way into the penalty area. Whips a right-footed cross-cover shot that is diverted into the air off the head of Joel Matip, and Liverpool are able to clear. Everton, though, will look to come again, this time down the right-hand side with Doucouré, supported by Townsend. Work it onto his left foot. There's a bit of shirt tugging going on there between Townsend and Thiago, and well, I think they were both at it in truth, but the referee Paul Tierney has given the free kick in Everton's favour.
It didn't actually look like Thiago had hold of Townsend. It was the other way around. So Thiago sort of grabs the arm of Townsend because he's got a handful of Thiago's shirt. So if anything, the Liverpool man doesn't actually do that much wrong. It was Townsend pulling the shirt that was then putting himself in trouble.
Yeah, he was
strange.
He was the instigator, Townsend, and he was also the man still holding it afterwards as well. So yeah, if anyone was going to be penalised there, it probably should have been the Everton man. But it is a free kick to the Toffees, whipped in by Gray from the right-hand side. Van Dijk able to comfortably clear, but it will be kept in play by Digne. In fact, he's going to settle for the throw-in, the Frenchman on the left-hand side. Everton trying to get their fans on side, trying to give them something to cheer. It's been a very, very tough opening 28 minutes for the Goodison Park faithful, as Digne finds Richarlison, who returns it to the full-back. Richarlison once more back from suspension for this game, clips the ball infield into the space where Seamus Coleman is waiting. Everton skipper to go down the line towards Townsend. He's forced back infield, has to be careful. Finds Allen, who shows a good fleet of foot to get away from one challenge, and then Thiago once again penalised, and again he's not happy with the referee.
Yeah, and I'm not sure again whether there was very much in it at all. Thiago steps across, just seeing the replay of it. There's very little contact. Thiago steps in. I don't know whether he actually does contact Allen, who comes away limping and almost holding his thigh, which is nowhere near where the contact was made, so whether he's twisted something on his way down. But another opportunity this for Everton. You've got to think that set pieces are their way of trying to punish Liverpool, but the Reds hold such a high line, and this isn't a great position for Demarai Gray, so it's going to be tough for them to score from this.
Gray does lift it into the area. There's too much on that though initially. Ben Godfrey will get hold of possession, but he's been marshalled by Sadio Mane. Tries to pull it back towards Digne, but Alexander-Arnold is there. In combination with Fabinho, Liverpool get the ball clear up to Jota, who's breaking down the right-hand side. Across comes Seamus Coleman. Jota wants a free kick. The assistant referee is well positioned, not interested, and play goes on. Touch now of Jordan Henderson as he battles with his opposing skipper Seamus Coleman. So it'll be an Everton throw-in. Nearly half an hour played. It feels like a game maybe there has been a little bit of a response from Everton over the last few minutes, like we saw initially after they conceded the first goal. But again, they've got to be careful. They've got to remain defensively resilient. I think Rafa Benitez will be desperate really for his side to get in only at 2-0 down.
Yeah, absolutely that, because every time Liverpool get on the ball, you get concerned that they're going to score. You just think that they're going to get themselves through and do something. As a yellow card has come out here, and Allan has to be careful. He's getting in the face of Paul Tierney. Thiago actually is the man sort of walking him away. So Paul Tierney's got his hand in his, or he's got his card in his hand. So a yellow card is coming for an Everton man, but Allan there has to be really careful, storming up to the referee and shouting in his face like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he was saying, but he was clearly screaming at Paul Tierney, and it is Alan who goes in with the challenge. I mean, he does win the ball cleanly. He's slightly high, but Diogo Jota, the man he's challenging initially, isn't there. There's a bit of a follow through that catches Jota on the right ankle. I mean, it's one of those that certainly 5 or 10 years ago wasn't a free kick, and definitely not a yellow card, which is what Alan has got. But for me, that seems harsh, although I know we're moving in that direction where those kind of challenges are being outlawed.
Again, it's the question as to whether football's going to become a non-contact sport. It was rash from Alan, but he doesn't contact him initially. He then doesn't contact him with the follow-through of the foot that he went in with the challenge. It's the follow-through of his trailing leg. It hardly catches Diogo Jota, who then goes down. In the game between Aston Villa and Palace at the weekend, Douglas Luiz got sent off for a slight follow-through and not catching the man. VAR then reviewed it and changed it, but he didn't make the contact, and that was similar in the way that the contact was so minimal. But Alan is continuing to remonstrate, and I understand why, but I get where Paul Tierney's coming from, but I think if we yellow card him for things like that, we're heading in the wrong direction for the sport.
I'm just wondering if there's a delay. I think the free kick now is going to be taken, but I wonder if they were reviewing that as a potential red card offence as well. And the thing for me was, as you say, he gets the ball, he doesn't catch him initially with the follow-through, and if anything, Jota's running into his studs, if you like, and the studs going into the Liverpool player. And it just seems very harsh, and those challenges in particular always look worse when you have the slow-motion replays. As I can tell you, big goal that Liverpool supporters will be interested in at Vicarage Road. It's now Watford 1, Chelsea 1. Emmanuel Dennis, who was a doubt for that game, has got the equalising goal for Watford, and it won't please Liverpool supporters as much because Manchester City have gone 1-0 up in the other 8:15 kick-off this evening. 1-0 that is away at Aston Villa. Ruben Diaz, the scorer in that one. Elsewhere, Southampton 2-1 up against Leicester. West Ham 1-0 against Brighton. And still Wolves 0, Burnley 0. 6 Premier League matches taking place this Wednesday evening, and they're all available as off-tube studio commentary as Andy Robertson working his way down the left-hand side. Just miscontrols. That allows Coleman to step in. He then slides into a crunching challenge, and there are a few challenges flying in. It is a derby, so we do expect to see those kind of tackles. And actually, just going back to the Alan challenge, he had that one inside the opening 5 minutes where an advantage was played. I mean, that was a yellow card all day long, and that wasn't given. And then you look at how he was carded, and it doesn't seem to add up. Yeah,
that challenge early on was awful. It was a really bad challenge. So unless the referee has given the yellow card based on accumulative fouls, because I think it might have been his third, but otherwise I don't understand why, as we're just seeing replay of Andy Robertson, because Robertson sort of stopped. I'm not sure whether he contact with his face, so he's just getting some treatment to his nose. But again, looked a bit innocuous, really. They're coming together between Townsend.
He was bleeding from the nose. I think it's just a palm in the face from Townsend, an inadvertent one. I hasten to add, but 11 minutes to go until a half-time break. Everton 0, Liverpool 2. Jordan Henderson, a spectacular opener for Liverpool, and then Mo Salah, who else, with the second goal. Two brilliant finishes. I mean, we feel like we take the Salah one for granted because that is a brilliant goal, but it's the Jordan Henderson one for me that stands out. It's such a good finish with his weaker foot.
I think the funny thing with both of them is that we look at the Salah one and go, yeah, it's Mohamed Salah. Of course he scored from there. It's a wonderful finish from a tight angle. But the Jordan Henderson one, as you say, it's on his weaker foot, and it's bouncing ever so slightly as well. It's not rolled along the carpet to him and he's stepping in and whipping it. It's bobbling on its way to him, and he still manages to control it and find that corner. It's a terrific finish from him. He's not been known for goals, really. He's known for sort of 25-yard on his right foot, bending it across goal. But we've seen over the last few weeks he's begun to bring goals back into his game. And that one, I think, is absolutely superb, especially at the time. Obviously, it was 0-0. Liverpool had been building, but it's a Merseyside derby as well. So it's massive to go and get a goal. Captain, left-footed, brilliant.
It's been fantastic so far. Got the assist for the Salah goal as well. As I can tell you, Leicester have equalised at St Mary's against Southampton 2 apiece in that game. Now early in the second half, James Maddison, who's another one seemingly returning to form, has got his name on the score sheet once again. Second time in the match Leicester have come from behind. Everton are needed to come from behind in this one. They're 2 goals down though at home in this Merseyside derby. It is in the final third. Everton, they have had a bit of possession, a bit of play in Liverpool territory, but we've barely seen Richarlison. I don't think Solomon Rondon's actually touched the ball.
No, other than defensively heading the balls away from corner kicks. It's just not worked. It is almost a 4-4-2 rather than a 4-2-3-1 that was speculated earlier. But they're just not able to do anything at all. And as much as it's a thing of that Everton aren't offering anything, they're not being allowed to, because Liverpool are being absolutely superb. Whether it's Liverpool dominating possession or whether it's as soon as they lose it, they're all over Everton to win it back. Still feel like the Toffees can do better and can do more than what they're doing at the moment. But Liverpool, playing the way they are and in the form they're in, are making it very, very difficult. So we've got to give credit to Liverpool as much as, you know, discredit Everton and what they're trying to do tonight.
Absolutely, it's fantastic from Liverpool right from the very first whistle, and maybe there's an element that they've just slightly taken their foot off the gas as well in the last 10 minutes or so, which has allowed Everton a chance to work their way back into the game. They have a throw-in now, the Toffees on the halfway line, right in front of the respective dugouts of Rafa Benitez and Jurgen Klopp, both managers patrolling on the edge of their small technical area at Goodison Park. Coleman with the throwing down the line, it breaks to Decore. Fabinho steps in though in front of Rondon and is able to clear up towards the halfway line, but Everton do quickly win the ball back. Richarlison into Damari Gray, might be a chance for Damari Gray, he's in behind and he's beaten Alisson, and from absolutely nowhere Everton are back in this game, and it's been their player of the season so far, Damari Gray. He's on the score sheet again, a composed left foot finish, just about squeezes beyond Alisson, and it's game on at Goodison Park.
Yeah, he does well. It's the first time that Liverpool switch off. Richarlison it is who plays the ball into Gray. It's a lovely ball. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is the man that switched off, but Richarlison's pass is great, and then it's a decent finish from Damari Gray. Just goes low, it clips the caboose, I think, of Alisson as he charges out, and then into the back of the net. But good finish from Damari Gray, and we've gone from, you know, saying that Everton haven't quite been good enough to now it looking like it's a game within their reach. As good as Liverpool have been, I think that's perfect for the game, because it means Liverpool will have to switch on, they'll have to go again to get that 2-goal advantage, whereas for Everton, in their minds, it's game on, and why not, as Thiago goes into the box.
Yeah, it's given them belief that they're fired up, the Everton players. Thiago, again, I think it's a foul on Alan, and I think that's probably for accumulation as well. He steps across the Brazilian, and there's not much contact really in that. I think maybe the yellow card is because he was stopping the Everton player breaking forward on a counter-attack. Certainly there didn't seem to be enough in the challenge itself to warrant a yellow.
Yeah, either that or the accumulation point that you made, because that's his 4th foul, I think, overall. As much as all 4 of them, I think, have been relatively innocuous and not real fouls. But this is, you know, better from Everton, because they are just rattling Liverpool a little bit. They're upsetting them. Getting someone like Thiago booked, who's not used to tackling, is a great thing. It's a late challenge from Luca Digne comes in, and he's going to go into the book. And this is the problem that Paul Tierney's got now, is he's beginning to give yellow card after yellow card. We're going to see loads of bookings now. I said earlier on, in recent years we've seen 2 Everton players sent off in games. We've seen Liverpool players sent off. I wouldn't bet against a red card.
I'd be hugely surprised if we end 11 against 11. If it continues the way it's going, maybe both managers might just calm things down at half-time, but the challenges are flying in, and more importantly, both sets of players, every time there's a foul, the opposition are getting in the ear of the referee. It's very touchy out there. Everton are pumped up, they're trying to get back into it, and Liverpool have got dragged into it a little bit as well, you'd probably say, which is possibly why they've switched off a little bit, and it led to the goal. It's playing into Everton's hands in a way.
Absolutely. The fact that they are going at them and putting these challenges in and then going up to the referee, doing all these little bits of gamesmanship that they're doing, it's almost like the fact that they're trying to be nasty with it is working an absolute treat, because it's meaning that Liverpool's focus is being drawn away from doing what they're doing, and they're focusing on what Everton are doing. which is the last thing they want to do. If Liverpool want to win this game and win it comfortably, which it's looked like they could do all game, they have to focus on themselves. They have to focus on playing their game and getting at Everton using the feet. Everton, on the other hand, are trying to get at Liverpool using the heads and using the mouths and things like that. That, you know, they're not trying to outplay them; they're trying to outwork them.
Yeah, and you know, it's kind of working at this moment in time, although we know Liverpool immediately have the quality that can switch it back on, and that's what they're looking to do now. If Alexander-Arnold's low ball into the box, it's comfortably cleared away though by Seamus Coleman, and Demarai Gray there, just for a second it looked like he was going to get the better of Virgil van Dijk, but the offside flag has been raised on the far side. Liverpool keen to get on with proceedings quickly. Thiago backing towards Virgil van Dijk once again. About 10-15 minutes ago, Everton would have put your hand off at getting in at 2-0 down only, but they've got it back to 2-1. All of a sudden there is a little bit more of a spring in the step of the Toffees players. Alexander-Arnold goes infield for Liverpool, finds Thiago. Jota has dropped deep to get involved, and he works out to Andy Robertson on the left-hand side. He switches the play from left to right towards Mo Salah. Salah's going to have to work hard to try and keep that one in play. He's not able to do so. He goes behind for a goal kick, and he gets a bit of a mouthful as well, Mo Salah, from the Everton supporters behind the goal. Yeah,
it looked like actually they were trying to grab him, to be honest, as he went near the supporters. But just seeing this Demarai Gray finish once again, the ball from Richarlison's great, outside of his right foot through to Gray, who's just drifted between the right back and the centre back, and a lovely finish from him as well. And applause from Rafa Benitez, not a smile, nothing more than that, from the Spaniard, who's used to Merseyside derbies from the other side of the city, but I'm sure he enjoyed that inside, that it's all of a sudden game on and not game over.
It was the managerial equivalent, the polite clapping of not celebrating a goal against your former club kind of thing as a player, but yeah, it was calm celebration.
Let's see what his reaction is if it's Everton 3, Liverpool 2. That's when we'll see. That's when we'll see what his reaction actually is.
As Rondon breaks forward, we're a long way from Everton winning this game 3-2, by the way. 2-1 down they are, but they're certainly playing a lot better than they were in the opening 20 minutes of this game, showing a bit of fight as well, as Michael Keane switches a lovely, I thought it was going to be a lovely angle ball out towards Townsend on the right, but there's just too much pace on it from Keane. We're into the final 2 minutes of the opening 45. We'll get 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time. Certainly plenty of breaks in play since the half-hour mark, which is, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, has disrupted the flow of Liverpool, who lose possession. Thiago robbed, and it breaks via Decore to Demarai Gray. Has he been fouled on the edge of the area by Fabinho? No, he hasn't, and Demarai Gray is going to be the second Everton player to be cautioned for simulation in this first half. We saw Townsend earlier on, and now Gray again. I'm sure what you thought, Jack, but I thought he went down a little bit easily.
Yeah, he's looking for it. I'm not sure whether there is actually contact or not. The couple of views that we've had aren't conclusive. I mean, Fabinho steps across him, but again, it's very little contact. Demarai Gray is looking for it. I think it's probably the right decision from the referee, Paul Tierney. I can see why Everton feel aggrieved, because it's the second time it's happened, but it's the second time that they've dived around the edge of the penalty area. So if it's a yellow card, it's a yellow card, but they are totting up now. It's 4 for Everton. They need to stop getting needlessly booked, because it's not going to help them later in the game when Liverpool are trying to stretch it.
Absolutely not. I mean, Gray and Townsend, you wouldn't expect to necessarily pick up a second yellow, but Alan and Lucas Digne in their positions where they have to put challenges in, you would expect in the second half, especially if Everton are chasing the game. Bernardo Silva, incidentally, has doubled Manchester City's lead away at Aston Villa on the stroke of half-time. Villa 0, City 2. It is now Liverpool looking to come forward, trying to re-establish their 2-goal cushion in this Merseyside derby. It's Sadio Mane rolls the ball into the feet of Thiago. Henderson, who had a bit more of an advanced role out of the midfield trio this evening, constantly trying to break forward, particularly down this right-hand side. Salah trying to find Henderson now, who's got to the byline, pulls it back towards Mane at the far post, excuse me, and Jordan Pickford makes the save.
Yeah, and it's a good save actually from Pickford. I'm not sure whether it's Pickford or Michael Keane who gets there. but one of them manages to prevent the ball going in. A decent opportunity with 30 seconds just over into 3 added on at the end of this first half, but Liverpool just showing that little bit of quality. And you were saying about Jordan Henderson getting into that advanced role. It was Henderson who made the run. Lovely ball into him from Salah. I feel as though Henderson would probably have been better there drilling it across goal rather than trying to loft it, because it asked a lot from Mane to generate all the power, because he was almost stood still. It was right on his head. He couldn't attack it properly, and in the end still got a header at goal. But better from Liverpool, who haven't created a lot over the last 10-15 minutes or so, and they did well there.
Yeah, it's probably certainly the best chance they've created since they established a 2-0 lead, which of course now has been halved by Everton, but they're looking to end this first half strongly. The Reds, Henderson again involved, flicks it around the corner to Jota, who in turn I think was looking for Sadio Mane inside the area, but his attempted ball in behind is deflected behind by Ben Godfrey for another Liverpool corner.
Yeah, Henderson's been superb, hasn't he? He's been involved in everything good for Liverpool today. It was a lovely little touch round the corner just then for Jota, who, as you say, tried to force it across for Mane. I'm not sure whether that was even an option, because Mane seemed to be marked. I think he probably could have tried to turn and then go himself and test Everton that way. But as it is, it's a corner anyway. Liverpool's 7th of the game.
Yeah, they had a really good chance early in this first half from a corner that Joel Matip sent wide with a header from just 7 yards out. Can they create another decent opportunity now from their latest one? Trent Alexander-Arnold again standing over it once more. It will be an outswinger from the right-hand side. It's a decent ball in. Everton don't initially get it clear. Eventually, Keane does scramble it towards the edge of the penalty area. I think Everton wanted a free kick in amongst that, and they didn't get the initial one from the referee, Paul Tierney, but now the assistant on the near side has flagged. It's an offside free kick, Everton.
Yeah, again, it's just an opportunity wasted there from Liverpool. It wasn't a bad ball in, but Everton, really, since that opening bit of trouble that they had, they've been able to deal with just about every corner into the box, to be fair to them. And it's not just the first contact, they're then getting the second one as well. So that'll please Rafa Benitez, because Everton have really stepped up these last 15 or 20 minutes. They've taken it upon themselves and made a real game out of it. When me and you we were ruling them out 20 minutes in and saying this could be 5 or 6. I still think there's goals in it as Everton come forward.
Yeah, Digne cross into the penalty area, deflects off Matip, comes to Decore, whose shot is diverted away by Thiago, and that will be the end of what has been a pulsating first half. This Merseyside derby has not disappointed so far. Liverpool, through Jordan Henderson and Mo Salah, 2-0 up inside the opening 20 minutes, but Damari Gray has pulled one back for Everton, so at half-time it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2.
Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. Jordan Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. Jordan Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. Jordan Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari, great to slot home, gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. Half-time at Goodison Park, it's Everton 1, Liverpool 2. The Reds dominant in the opening 20 minutes, but the Blues have made a real fist of it in this first half. Liverpool took the lead on 10 minutes. John Henderson bending home beautifully from the edge of the penalty area after a pullback from the left-hand side, before Henderson's pass from Mo Salah unleashed the Egyptian, who went through one-on-one and bent it into the top corner. Richarlison's ball through for Damari Gray to slot home gave Everton a chance. Everton 1, Liverpool 2.
It's a very warm welcome back to this independent, unofficial off-tube studio-based commentary of the Premier League and the Merseyside derby. Everton 1, Liverpool 2. If you weren't with us in the first half, you missed an absolute treat. Liverpool dominant in the first 20 minutes. Goals through Jordan Henderson and Mohamed Salah gave them breathing space as they looked like they were going to breeze their way to 3 points. But Everton, to be fair to them, dug in. And for the final sort of 20 minutes of the first half, they had a real go, got themselves a goal through Damari Gray, and maybe have got a chance here straight away. The game is back underway as Andy Robertson has to deal with Solomon Rondon, and it will be a throw-in to Everton deep inside Liverpool territory, level with the edge of the 18-yard box on this near right-hand side. Seamus Coleman, the man to take it. Andros Townsend is down the line. Abdoulaye Doucouré was also nearby. Instead he finds Richarlison, who flicks it round the corner for Rondon, who goes down in the box. Then Andy Robertson's caught in possession. Townsend floats it towards the back post. Doucouré heads it towards goal, and Alisson will claim it. It's myself, Jack Deaton, alongside Tom McGarry for the second half. And Tom, as I said, at times it looked like it would be relatively straightforward for Liverpool. Everton made sure it's not. We could be in for a really entertaining second half.
Yeah, they dug in deep during the second part of that first half, didn't they? Everton showed as well. They're still fighting for Rafa Benitez despite this sticky run they've been on, and they've started the second period as well on the front foot. It was a good
ball in from the right-hand side. I actually thought Doucouré, he was the wrong man who went for it. If he'd left it for Damari Gray, Gray was in a better position to get more sure contact on the header and perhaps trouble Alisson a little bit more. But strong opening minute anyway to the second half from Everton.
Yeah, Liverpool are in possession though here inside Everton's half. Trent Alexander-Arnold with a poor pass. Has it returned back to him though by Luca Digne. And now a chance for Mohamed Salah on that right-hand side for Liverpool. The challenge from the French fullback Digne does enough, but then Salah turns away from Alan brilliantly before finding Jordan Henderson on the right-hand side. Now Trent Alexander-Arnold.
once again from the Liverpool captain as he is replaced, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will be coming on, a man who has had a regular space in the starting 11 over recent weeks, into a cameo role this evening. But yeah, Henderson probably, I would say, on the balance of things, the man of the match.
He's been great. He's been absolutely brilliant. His finish initially set them on the way. The assist for Salah was perfect as well. But then from then on, he was the player that was showing the bits of quality. We've seen him in a different role this year because Thiago has sort of taken the role that Henderson used to play. He's playing almost the Gini Wijnaldum role of what it was last season and the season before. And he's been brilliant today. He really has. He's having a very, very good season. Today is one of the jewels in the crown, I think, of what will be a good season for Jordan Henderson, because he's constantly adapting his game. He's a very intelligent player. And today, he almost ran the show for Liverpool.
Yeah, he's been absolutely superb. It proves he can do a variety of different roles in the midfield department, as Liverpool happy to just retain possession at the moment. Matip into the feet of Fabinho, goes back towards Joel Matip once again. Everton between a rock and a hard place. They don't really want to press and risk getting played around by Liverpool, but also they've got to keep showing willing and not sit too deep and allow the pressure to be built up, as we're going to see the third and final Everton change now. And this is going to be the introduction of the forgotten man, or one of the forgotten men at Goodison Park, in Cenk Tosun. He's on for Damari Gray, but you know, even for Tosun himself, if Rafa Benitez had any faith of him, he would have came on earlier when Rondon went off. Now he's just getting 5 minutes when your team's losing 4-1. What is he expected to do?
Yeah, what a ridiculous substitution that is. I think if you're Rafa Benitez, you would have been better off bringing on a centre-back to make sure you don't lose this game 5-1 than bring on a striker when you had two very good opportunities earlier on to do it. It doesn't make any sense at all. And for me, it just paints a further picture as to the position that Rafa Benitez is in, and that it's going to fall apart for him. Because I think that, as much as, yes, fans will think, oh, he's brought a striker on, you know, it's better, but you've got 5 minutes to go and you're 4-1 down. The stadium's half empty because half the fans have gone home. And bringing on a striker who hasn't really had any opportunity over the last 2.5 years that he's been at Goodison Park, I think is just a ridiculous change. He'd have been better off not making a substitution on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And difficult for Cenk Tosun, and you know, supporters can see through that as well. You know, you say bring a striker on, trying to appease the fans, but supporters can see that for what it is really in a lot of ways. It's a difficult evening for Everton. Cenk Tosun coming on is not going to really change that in these closing 5 minutes plus stoppage time. It was the third and final substitution for Everton, incidentally, as well. Salah on the ball now for Liverpool, just flicks the infield. The ball to James Milner, just getting on our screens now, being independent off-tube studio commentary. The camera was panned on Mo Salah. Sadio Mane was then the graphic that came up saying man of the match. I presume it was meant to be Salah, but we thought Jordan Henderson should be man of the match anyway. Salah does dance into the penalty area, but he's stopped in his tracks by Michael Keane. I presume that means Salah has been given the man of the match.
Yeah, which is strange. You know, it's strange. There we go. We've now had it corrected on our screen. I think that's odd. His finish was good, but you take that finish away, and what else has he done today? You know, well, both of his finishes, I suppose, were good. But even then, you take those out, and he's not. Yes, he's probably the match winner today, but I think Jordan Henderson was brilliant. For me, there's no contest whatsoever.
Yeah, I completely agree. And, you know, it's easy to pick out the goal scorers, the match winners, if you like, and obviously that's the most important thing, putting the ball in the back of the net. But Jordan Henderson set the tone with his early goal, has delivered a captain's display in the middle of the park. One or two others in red have impressed as well. It's a lovely lead by Jota. He's got Liverpool's fourth goal to find Andy Robertson. Now Mane, he'll want to get in on the act before the end of the game. It's held forward by Oxlade-Chamberlain, looking for Mo Salah. Everton have enough bodies back to clear, and Pickford sends it up towards Richarlison on the halfway line. He looks, well, disinterested really there as he let the ball run out of play for a throw-in on halfway, which will see the third and final Liverpool change now. And Takumi
Minamino is going to come on to replace the scorer of Liverpool's 4th goal, Diogo Jota.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed with Richarlison there because he just gave up. He gave up. And that, as much as anything, is a sign of where the team is. If your player is giving up, yes, you're 4-1 down, but it's a Merseyside derby. It's the home Merseyside derby. It's the one game in the season where you cannot give up, regardless of the scoreline. And I've said it already and I'll say it again. I am really fearful for Rafa Benitez tonight, because if that's the effort that his players are prepared to put in their biggest home game of the season, you have to ask why. And I would be really worried for Rafa Benitez. The only thing that might save him is that you think, oh, if he goes, then he goes. Who comes in? Who replaces him? Who's out there right now? For me, I would bring Graham Potter in, but are Brighton going to let him go? Probably not. Are Everton going to spend £15 million to get him out of his contract? Probably not.
Well, they spent £1.7 million on players during the summer, so I think that says a lot about what Everton are wanting to spend at this moment in time. Of course, they've spent vast amounts of money over the previous transfer windows as Digne does try and lift the ball into the area, easily dealt with by James Milner, and it's cleared up towards the halfway line where Seamus Coleman is penalised for a handball. Everton's next match, incidentally, in the Premier League is at home to Arsenal on Monday night. In fact, they're then away to Crystal Palace, away to Chelsea, and at home to Leicester before Christmas. Not an easy run of fixtures. You're wondering, where's Everton's next win going to come from? And if they don't win any of those games, even if they do, to be honest, they could easily be in a relegation battle.
Yeah, I mean, they're dropping like a stone, aren't they? Especially when you think of those next 4 games. I've been talking about Rafa Benitez, but do I feel that under Rafa Benitez they're going to be able to win any of those games? I think maybe Crystal Palace, because Palace aren't playing very well right now, despite their good start to the season as Liverpool come forward.
Yeah, Robertson trying to pull it back from Mane, but it's well read by Seamus Coleman, who can clear up to halfway, trying to find Tosun, who miscontrols. Van Dijk is able to step in. Fabinho now into the feet of Mane, who's too strong for Gordon. Finds Salah, edge of the area, he tries to backheel the ball back into the on-rushing Mane. Liverpool enjoying themselves, toying with Everton, which will probably hurt the Everton supporters as much as anything, but ball does go out for a throw into the Toffees on the near touchline. Everton, as it stands, 14th in the standings, 15 points from their 14 games so far, only 5 above the relegation zone. Judging by what we think of those next few games, that gap will probably close considerably.
Well, this is the thing, people have been talking about Leeds and Southampton as potential relegation candidates, but they're currently on the same amount of points as Everton. So what does that say about the Toffees? You know, as awful as it is, I think if they don't do something, whether they change manager or whether they change style, I don't know what they're going to have to do. They have to change something to get results quickly, or they will become embroiled in a relegation dogfight. They really will, because based on tonight, they've had one spell which was good. This second half, they haven't turned up. They've not. I don't think they've given it a go at all, really, in this second period. It's not been good enough, and they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a whimper this second half. We are into 3 minutes of stoppage time, almost had half of it actually at the end of this game. Everton 1, Liverpool 4 as it stands as well. Liverpool will be remaining third in the Premier League standings because Chelsea have already won by 2-1, and Manchester City are leading Aston Villa by the same scoreline. But another victory for Jurgen Klopp's side. Just that one defeat so far this season across all competitions against West Ham back in November. But a penny for Rafa Benitez's thoughts as the camera pans towards him in the Everton technical area. We've got 1 minute of stoppage time remaining, and yeah, there's not much happening on the pitch at this moment in time, but the camera panning to a lot of glum faces in the Goodison Park crowd as well. Those are the supporters that are still there in attendance, because you look round the stadium and there is a lot of empty blue seats.
Yeah, there is, and I think the fans had enough, ultimately had enough on what's been a torrid evening for them. As I say, there was one spell that was good, but it hasn't been good enough for Everton. I'm not surprised, and some of the fans won't want to go into work tomorrow because their colleagues will be Liverpool fans, and they'll have a bit of a tough day tomorrow, I think. But I think Rafa Benitez could have a tough evening tonight, because Everton fans already not happy with him, and the board going to be able to cope with it after tonight.
Yeah, there's going to be increased pressure and scrutiny as Gordon finds Decore. He can't quite slip it through to Tosin, who probably would have been offside anyway. In truth, one last foray forward now for Liverpool, but Robertson a little bit ambitious with the pass for Mo Salah. We're dealing in the final seconds now of this game. Paul Tierney glances at his watch as Delph works it out towards Digne on the left-hand side, and that is indeed that. Rafa Benitez, his first Merseyside derby as Everton manager, has ended in a heavy 4-1 defeat against Liverpool at Goodison Park. It could potentially be a result that means it's his last Merseyside derby as Everton manager as well. The pressure and scrutiny growing on the Everton boss. The full-time score in this one, though, Everton 1, Liverpool 4.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet?